Hey friends, Diane here. This same scenario continues throughout the Bible. Here in Genesis, we read how few people desire to follow God wholeheartedly. Well, except one man, that is. Noah was different. And this is exactly what God is searching for. Someone who will stand out from the rest of this me, myself, and I world. Someone who will allow God's voice to penetrate our own selfishness, this world's corruptness, and the devil's falseness. Noah was that guy. Hear the biblical description of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked with God. A righteous man. This does not mean he was sinless, but that his heart desired to do what was right. Blameless among the people of his time. This does not mean he was perfect, but that he did all he could to stay away from evil. He watched his thoughts, paid attention to where his emotions were leading him, and desired only to seek after excellence. He walked with God. This does not mean God physically was by his side, but that he chose to speak in ways that would glorify God and bless others around him. Spirit, soul, and body, moved by God's grace, Noah wanted to follow God with all he had. And God recognized Noah's faith and blessed him greatly by saving him and his small family. After the flood, we still see the wavering heart of mankind. While two of Noah's sons, Shem and Japheth, chose to honor their father, the younger one, Ham, chose to ridicule him. Some honor God, some choose to ridicule him instead. The more things change, the more they stay the same, right? It is through the lineage of Shem that the nation of Hebrews descend, as well as, of course, Jesus much later on. But first, Genesis gives us an amazing picture of true faith in the image of Abraham. I would need several weeks to dive into this father of faith. For that, you can follow my weekly encouragement articles where I will have the opportunity as I journey through Genesis this year. The link is below. But for here, just know what God asked Abraham to do, Abraham did. Whether this was leaving everything he knew behind, including his family, or sacrificing his son of the promise, Isaac, Abraham trusted God with all he had. Even when he goes a bit astray, it is not because he has lost hope in what God had promised, but it is exactly because he trusted what God said he would do for Abraham. Like us, as God seems to be delaying the answer to the pledge he had given Abraham, that he would have descendants of his own flesh, Abraham and Sarah think that God needs a little help from us mere humans to achieve his plan. But of course, God only desires two things from us, a willing heart and an open mind. Abraham was more than willing. The area he may have been growing in was that open mind. Who but God could open the womb of a 90-year-old woman who had never been able to conceive before? Talk about needing to have an open mind. Let's continue tomorrow.